Hello everyone and welcome to this video series where we'll try to make the clone of the game Crowd Evolution. So it is a pretty standard hyper casual game and it's been around for quite a long time. So if you have been following hyper casual games, then you probably already have played it. But if you haven't, I highly suggest you to go to the stores, download the game and then play it and then come back to this video. Then you will understand what you're trying to aim for. But either way, I'll show you what the final result might look like. So if you have played the game, you already know how it works, and I'm just playing through the cloned version. And we have these standard triggers that you have seen in the game and the crowd that are shooting the enemies. And yeah, so that's basically it. So the important point to see here is that there is no starting or end condition. So what that means is that I'm only focusing on the core gameplay and I'm avoiding all of the unnecessary things that are not essential to the core gameplay. And by saying this, I think we have a basic introduction and we can get right into it. All right, so we to start off, we'll have some assets imported into our project. I'll link it into the description so that you can also download it. And we'll start by showing the layout of our player. So it starts with a player holder, which is responsible for moving our player forward only. So its only job is to move forward the player and also like to detect collisions and other trigger sort of stuffs. And it's the master game object where under which all of the players will remain. And after that we have this player game object, which will be responsible for the swerving movement. And you can see that we have this swerve movement script here. We have previously made a video of swerve input, but I'll also like summarize this shortly here so that you can understand what it's doing. If we move into the swerve input script, we can see that there are some things happening here, so I'll explain this right now. So first off, we'll calculate the input that the player is giving. So input X is basically like how much we are moving horizontally. So for example, whenever the player puts the finger here and then moves left or right, the first position where the player puts the finger on will be our anchor, and then the amount of movement left or right will define our input X. And after that, we are basically like smoothing it out by multiplying it with time.delta time, and we're getting the displacement X. So this is basically how much we want to move this frame. And then we have the smooth out displacement function, which basically clamps the value between the max displacement that we have as a serialized field. So this is basically like how much we should move in one frame at max. So maximum how much we should move per frame. After that, we are taking this displacement X value and we are calculating our new position, and we also limit our local position depending on how much far we can move left or right. And this also like uses this value like max position X. So uh, uh, the editor set value is 4 of this at the moment. That basically means is that we can locally move horizontally a maximum distance of 4, both left and right from the center. So uh, basically like it's pretty straightforward. You can go ahead and read the script and you'll understand what it's doing. And after doing all this, we have a basic movement. You can see that like the player is swerving according to my input. Of course, it's not moving forward yet, but we are going to do it now. All right, so now we have our move forward script. What it's basically doing is that it's moving the player forward with a certain move speed, and it which is multiplied again by time.delta time, because we know that s equals vt, so our distance is equals the velocity, that is the move speed, and the time of the current frame, that is the time.delta time. So we'll attach this move forward script to the player holder, and now basically we have our player layout complete. We also have an animator and a basic looping run animation so that it doesn't look weird moving forward. And now if I press play, we can see that our player is moving forward, and we can also swerve it to move left and right. And the swerve is very smooth because first of all we are limiting it to move at a maximum of distance on the horizontal axis at a certain time frame, and we're also limiting so that it doesn't move off the screen.